lands very close to my home. What I'm trying to say is that this actually lands in underdeveloped countries. Underdeveloped countries like Ghana especially. Like in Ghana, the largest world electronic dump is in Ghana, in Agbogbose in Ghana. It has affected the workers. And this is an underdeveloped countries. These companies come to dump their products there, used products or wasted products, all in the name that they are coming to sell products to us. Meanwhile, the products are already being used and they're actually very bad. And we just come to dump them in our country. We feel this is not right, we feel this is not, and this is very wrong. Let me tell you the harms that this causes. In underdeveloped country, they have little waste management laws and they have little recycling technology. Let me tell you what happens to the workers in Ghana. Due to the high level of unemployment, these people go there to work. They have no protective gears at all. And due to the exposure to foreign chemicals, they get sick within a month of working. And instead of them stopping the job, they keep on going there because there is no employment in that society. This is not fair, this is very wrong, and we feel that the excessive use of planned obsolescence has caused people to abandon their products, people to actually drop their products, and those products land in other people's countries, causing harm to their lives. Meanwhile, they weren't the ones who even used the products in the first place. We feel that what technological companies are doing, what companies are doing, corporations are doing is very wrong and it's very harmful. Still under that, I would like to tell you how this has affected plants and animals. It has affected plants, the production of plants, animals, and also human beings living in that area. Let me tell you something. In 2013, Samsung and Apple were accused of trashing tropical forests and coral reef in Indonesia for exploiting tin from that area. And you know what Samsung said? Samsung said that, well, we are going to investigate. Until today, they haven't done anything very good about it. And let me tell you, in Indonesia alone, 150 miners die yearly just because of exploration of tin. We believe that this is not right because Samsung keeps manufacturing phones over and over and over again at the expense of other people's lives and at the expense of our environment. This is our world. This is Mother Nature. We only have one, and we cannot keep doing wrong things to it. That is why we strive against it. That's why we strive against the excessive use of planned obsolescence. That's why we're working together to make sure that this comes to an end. Now, Samsung, we all know about the Samsung Galaxy Note 7, which was currently a big rip-off to people that bought it because it kept exploding for significant reasons. Now let me tell you what Samsung said they are going to do. They are not going to refurbish such phones, that they are going to just, that they're not going to reuse it, and they're not going to do anything with the batteries and stuff like that. So what do they actually want to do with these phones? So far they haven't told us what they want to do with this phone, but let me give you a good guess. Maybe they're going to throw it in the sea. Or maybe they're going to keep it in another underdeveloped country in Africa. And we're saying that this is very wrong because this also increases the harmful effects in the world. Mobile phones are made basically from cadmium and mercury, which is very, very harmful to the society. It also causes global warming and ozone layer depletion. The EESU, European Economics and Social Committee, an advisory board of the European Union in 2013, started a study of the total ban of planned obsolescence. We're not studying the total ban of planned obsolescence, ladies and gentlemen, today, but what we're telling you is that this is a very bad thing, and we want to penalize corporations for doing this, because we feel that they've gone beyond the limits, and they've started affecting everyone in society, not just underdeveloped countries, but everyone in society, by causing the depletion of ozone layer, global warming, and also mismanagement of products. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I have told you how bad the excessive use of planned obsolescence is. I've told you how it affects you as an individual, how it affects the society and nature. And I've told you why we need, and I've told you that we need to protect the earth because it's our home. And I've told you how, and I've told you that only corporations gain from doing this because they're the only ones that make profits from this. On behalf of underdeveloped countries and you, the exploited consumer, I'm proud to propose.
gentlemen, today we are living in a hard world where we are trying to do our job and study for school. But thanks God that we have companies like Apple and Samsung to save us from that. They are producing smartphones for us and helping us to do our jobs. However, we don't gratitude about this help but only complain. This company started from zero and they became this big. They worked hard and came to this dominance. However, today we are talking about penalizing them because of their excessive use of planned obsolescence. As team opposition, we will show you why we should not penalize this excessive use of planned obsolescence. Today, we will give you 3 arguments about this case to show you why we should not penalize excessive use of planned obsolescence. As the first speaker of my team, I will show you why is it not legitimate to penalize these companies. 2, why excessive use of planned obsolescence actually helps the companies to improve technology. And after that, my second speaker will show you how actually customers shape the market, not the companies. But first, I will do my rebuttals. Team proposition propose us that excessive use of planned obsolescence is environmental harmful and it finishes the natural resources and
On that point?
no thank you. They say that in countries like Ghana, companies like Apple and Samsung putting their garbage there. But this is not the reason of excessive use of planned obsolescence. This is the reason of companies, no thank you, companies' policy. And also, by the profit the companies make, they can develop the technology and...
On that point?
No thank you. They can develop the technology and we can use garbages to make new phones and we can change them to create new ones. And now I'm moving to my arguments. No, thank you. I will tell you our arguments about why we should not penalize companies that implement excessive use of planned obsolescence. Our first argument is legitimacy. I want to ask you, when is it legitimate to penalize a company? As team opposition, we believe that if companies are being harmful, we should penalize them. For instance, if the given food of a fast food restaurant is poisonous, we should penalize it. Or if a tech company's phone blows up,
On that point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you said that you believe it's legitimate to punish people only when it's harmful. We have told you how harmful it is to the environment, and my second speaker is also going to tell you about how harmful it is to you, the consumer. So do you think your case is justified?
First of all, I said that the companies can be harmful, but this is not the reason of excessive use of planned obsolescence. This is the company's work and they are doing because of that. The case is that you should say, no thank you, you should just not argue about excessive use of planned obsolescence. You should argue about the company's policy. And basically, companies should harm more than their benefits to get penalization. However, we believe that excessive use of planned obsolescence don't harm the customers. The policy harms the customers. It is often here that big corporations force us to buy new products and benefit from people's unawareness, but this is not the case. People are not that unaware. They are not buying an iPhone to last 10 years. We believe that companies are creating that consumers like, and because of that, there is no...
On that point?
Yes, ma'am.
You said that that we should blame the policy of the company. Don't you think that the excessive use of planned obsolescence is also part of the policy of the company?
Well, I explained that by profiting from excessive use of planned obsolescence, companies can do better things like not putting their garbage to Ghana and to produce new phones. The reason... Yes, sir.
It is because companies are practicing planned obsolescence that people want to buy more products, because the more the products die, the more they want to buy new products. And in essence, it creates a cycle where the producer always keeps producing and the products die. In essence, the products that are obsolete now harm the environment in the end, because these are non-biodegradable materials.
You said that they are creating a circle and it's harming the environment, but as I said, we are living in a changing world, and they can create a technology in the future for that, and we can maybe do the cycle in a same phone in the future and paying same phone for develop itself. And if we penalize these companies, also it will shrink the market, and it will not help development of the economy. My second argument is about technology, and the technology's benefit to economy. If a company becomes less active in market, it will increasingly becomes irrelevant from market, and this is not good for both companies and our future society for that. And excessive use of plant obsolescence really helps develop the technology, and we know that developing technology is really expensive, and companies need money, and they need rapid product sale to earn this money. Actually consumers consumers are saying that a company should...
On that point?
No, thank you. Saying that a company should do this or that. Companies are not exploiting the people. For example, if a person says that I love this design, they should say that I love this design, please do, and there's lots of surveys about that, and people are giving feedback to the companies. So companies are making new phones about that. Briefly, I explained 2 points today, and my first point is about the legitimacy of why we should not punish a company that is not really harmful and like that. And my second point is about technology and how it benefits the economy. Thank you.
Thank you for the speech. Call for the second speaker for the proposition to carry the case for the side of the House. Ready when you are.
Plant obsolescence is concisely defined by my leading speaker, and it was able to give you clear clarification of what our stand should be in the case of government with the proposition team. This also will penalize operations for the excessive use of plant obsolescence. The first speaker from team opposition did not give us full analysis on what this topic means. How are we going to penalize this cooperation? On what platform did we penalizing done? And what is the effect? What is the important, the positive effect of the excessive use of obsolescence by corporations to society? We haven't heard that from two proposition. Okay, after making assertions to the argument he raised, I'm going to talk about economy, the right of a consumer, and scarcity of raw materials, and finally, exploitation. My first government gave you the meaning of plant obsolescence as a market strategy that it's adopted by manufacturing industry so that to set an expiry date for their products, okay, so that they can develop their own personal or organizational interest. Okay, we made our stand that because the excessive use of plant obsolescence is both exploitative and environmentally harmful. So in most cases, we propose a strike towards stopping this excessive action because it affects the society negatively. Our stand is to establish an organization under the United Nations that will manage the policy of production okay, adopt the optimal usage of obsolescence, but not excessive. I want you to understand that our argument is not discouraging obsolescence, because we believe that no matter the life expectancy of product, definitely it must fail. So we are arguing to do what that make it become compound, which is excessive, because we believe that, okay, because we the team proposition believe that, okay, too much of everything is bad. Now going to my argument. So rather, the first speaker from team opposition talk about Samsung and Apple. He said that they start from zero to what they are now. Okay, these companies, you can give us a reference how we can know that these companies aren't adopting the excessive use of planned obsolescence. Because when can date back to the 2012 Mobile Award in the United States, Samsung was awarded as the company with their phones last longer than any other company in the United States. That has been proved to us that they are using excessive planned obsolescence. The manageable use of obsolescence is the bait for our society, not excessively using it. So you should take that and correct it in your own context. You also talk about technology. But according to my leading speaker, he talked about, okay, rather our stand for this argument, that we want the improvement of technology, but not through excessive obsolescence. Because it's only when products that last longer, okay, it's only when products that no longer are produced, technology, okay, or people of young mind that have critical thinking of boosting technology can be supported by the government to create or innovate good things for mankind. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now going back to my argument, okay? In terms of economy, using excessive use of planned obsolescence is a hatred or rather a threat to the economy, because we are trying to prevent total exploitation. It declines the value of items to consumers as new models are produced are produced shortly after the others failed. The economy doesn't seem to be growing but remains stagnant. This presupposes that the White Houses of these industries have full power of delivery, but cannot be purchased by the consumers regarding the economic status, most especially in the developing countries that cannot be able to purchase these products. Okay, so let's take example, or let's take China and Japan as a case study. These countries, we know that their GDP depends on manufacturing industries, and this idea, or the idea of adopting the use of planned obsolescence, is really part of manufacturing industries. So if consumers cannot purchase products because it goes out of fashion in a little time, and once in their hand have gone failed, so definitely, okay, this industry will start decreasing. Okay, their productivity will start declining, and they couldn't be able to set their tax to the government. If this companies fail, then the GDP of the country will start decreasing, and this is a huge loss, and we didn't support it in our own case. Another fact is that the right of a consumer to know the exact dates of a product, okay, to know the exact date at which a product will fail is also affected, and that is another reason why I support the penalizing corporations that adopt the excessive use of planned obsolescence.
For that point, sir.
Okay, I'm coming. My first government was able to convince you or tell me all stand that the union should impose fine of, let's say, $200,000 to each company that adopts this system to its products. Can I have a question?
Considering that trends and fashion is constantly changing, it is the same for smartphones as well. Is it sensible for companies to produce phones with short lifespan so that?
Okay, I get what you're trying to say. Like, companies that produce phones that last longer are considered the most companies that aren't adopting the system of planned obsolescence, and that is what we are proposing in our case. We are simply discouraging or supporting the penalization of cooperation that adopt excessive use of planned obsolescence, but not the optimal usage of it. So thank you for supporting us. Okay, as I'm talking, I'd say it affects the right of consumer to know the exact lifespan of the product. Okay, the exact life of the product that will be obtained by him. Simply put, this argument is simply pointing that consumer should know the exact duration that his product will fail before, okay, so that he can pay the corresponding amount of money to that particular period of time. Then what the issue of exploitation comes into place. Prevention of repairs is another case. Like, let's take the case of inject cartridges. Inkjet cartridges are produced or manufactured with a smart chips to prevent them from printing after a certain period of time. So in that case, we are proposing that consumers should be allowed to know when these printers will stop working, and they will pay price according to the short time that the product will fail, but not the rapidly changing design just to depend or generate income for the company. Another thing is scarcity of raw materials. Deals of excessive plant obsolescence lead to scarcity of raw materials because according to the Environmental Protection Agency survey in 2013, it reveals that 90% of materials that are used in processing, that are processed in making, plastic materials are rubber items, aren't biodegradable. Biodegradable simply means products that cannot be recyclable, that are not recyclable. So definitely they will harm the environment. My first government, was able to defend that case, so I don't need to talk about it. If I can recall, the first government also talked about the legitimacy and why we shouldn't cooperate, or why we shouldn't punish cooperation that adapt the same, whether they are harmful, whether their actions are harmful or it affects environment negatively. My first government talked about environmental hazards and degradation. Once these materials are thrown to our land, it decreases the soil facility because chemicals are used in processing these items. This issue was founded, really in South Africa in 2008 because of the rubbers that were discarded on the land, on farming lands, and it affects the fertility and the productivity of the farmers. So conclusively, ladies and gentlemen, I talk about how it affects the economy, the disadvantages of excessive plant obsolescence, and our stand of establishing management system that will manage the policies of production. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I raise my case. Thank you.
Now, thank you for a fine speech. Now I'd like to appoint the second speaker of the opposition to carry the case for herself and hers. Hey there. Ready when you are.
So today, ladies and gentlemen, we as the opposition side believe that penalizing corporations for the excessive use of plant obsolescence is illegitimate, as the first speaker mentioned. Today, we live in a world where each year companies come up with products that have been improved since the previous one was released. And nowadays, companies try to develop designs of their products instead of the durability of their products, because that's what the customers are looking for. When a customer walks into a shop, it's not going to look for a phone, let's say, that has a lifespan of 20 years, but instead that's going to look for a phone that has a better design than the other ones, or the previous one that was released maybe 2 years ago. And when the customer is buying the phone, he is actually aware that the product is going to last him for 2 years, but he still buys it, so that's not it's not manipulating the customers. And that's why, in order to benefit both the customers and the corporations, as I'm going to explain later in my speech, the use of excessive plant obsolescence should not be penalized. Today, as the second speaker of team opposition, I'm going to be explaining. No, thank you. I'm going to be explaining my argument about how customers shape the market and how to free market is a customer-driven way. But before I move on to my argument, I'd like to rebut the argument of the second speaker of team proposition. The second speaker of the team proposition suggested that companies, in his arguments, he said that companies are exploiting people and making phones that are going to last for a short amount of time, and that goes unfashionable or after a certain period of time. And now, as I'm going to explain further in my argument, that is actually necessary for companies to make, because they have to respond to the customer's demands. If they make a phone, no, thank you. If they are going to make a phone, that's going to last 20 years, customers are not going to buy it, and the companies will not be able to reach their goal, which is maximizing their profit. So now I move on to my argument. Okay, so as I said, we believe that customers shape the free market. The free market is a customer-driven market. So what I mean by that is companies produce their products. Companies produce their products according to the demands of the customers. They create new products based on feedback they receive from their customers. respond to their customers' demands and actually reach their goal and also satisfy the customers as well.
In a situation whereby a consumer buys a printer that was actually programmed without his knowledge for it to stop after printing 20,000 copies, do you think that that is what the consumer actually wanted?
Actually, in France, there is a law that makes companies like tell their customers how much time their products are going to last, and we can see that there is actually no difference still, because customers are still looking for the printers that have a better designs law. And Samsung, which is known for being in a big competition with Apple, is now creating products that have a better design rather than improving the hardware of the products. Like we can see from the Galaxy Edge products that they're releasing. Now I'm going to move back to my argument. So as long as the company provides customers with what they want, which is in this case the better design and more appealing to our products, they'll be able to maximize their profit. If a customer knows that he or she will get what he wants, then she's going to buy it. But if he's aware that he's not going to get what he wants from a product, he's not going to buy it. An example of a company that uses this strategy is Apple. Apple is aware of what its products, what its customers want, and Apple gives its customers what they want. Yes.
Okay, you said customers are only going to purchase products that they know how long they last, but do you think that it affects the society negatively? As in your own case, you're trying to show that excessive use of planned obsolescence are important to the customers?
I told you that the customers are still buying the printer that you mentioned, by knowing like it's going to last them for 2 to 3 years. So that's my point. As a conscious customer, if I walk into a shop, I don't want my phone to last me for decades. No one's looking for that right now. And we can see this since Apple is now coming up with products like every other company that have a better design and look more appealing and stand out amongst the others. So I want a new, maybe rose gold iPhone 7. I don't want a phone that looks not nice but lasts me for decades. So if the customers buy products that have a better design rather than a longer lifespan, the company will make its product more appealing to eye and not extremely durable in order to maximize profit. And we accept that if the company could both make their products have a longer lifespan and have a better design, that would be more beneficial for the company. However, it's not realistic as they will be spending so much money, wasting so much money on unnecessary things, whereas if they just improve the design, it still sells it so much. Moving on to my next point, companies make choices about which features of our products to invest in according to the customer's demand. If customers need products that are aesthetically pleasing, rather than, let's say, a product that lasts them longer, then companies are going to invest money in improving their design. They're going to hire better designers, and they are going to not spend waste money on actually improving the durability of their products. Let's take Apple for example again. If Apple needs to make a choice between improving design of its product, or investing in research to make the lifespan longer, it will be more reasonable and logical for Apple to invest money in an area that's going to return back to them as profit, because they're going to earn money from it. And the customer is actually going to be satisfied with their products. So if the both sides are going to be satisfied with them, then there is no need to be punishing their excessive use of planned obsolescence. And besides, companies can also invest in both improving design and the durability. So planned obsolescence is, we believe that, a smart business strategy rather than a way to manipulate customers and trick them into buying new products. It's beneficial for both the customers and the companies because it helps both sides reach their goals. So there is, and thus penalizing corporations for excessive use of planned obsolescence is illegitimate. So ladies and gentlemen, what have I told you today? I gave you my argument about how the customers shape the market. Companies create products based on the feedback from the customers, and then they invest in areas to improve those features in order to maximize their profit, which is their main goal from the start. And because customers care more about design of the product instead of their lifespan, companies nowadays choose to invest in improving design of the product
have a proposition?
Ladies and gentlemen, as part speaker proposition, I'm going to round this debate off by asking three simple questions. Firstly, is production of newer designs to suit consumer choice enough to justify environmental pollution and degradation? Secondly, is there true exploitation in excessive use of plant obsolescence? And then thirdly, is company development worth wasting natural resources? Now, before I move further into answering these three questions, which will round up this debate, I would like to make certain things clear. Ladies and gentlemen, we have told you from the beginning to our first speaker that we propose that a committee should be enacted under the United Nations to check out issues of true exploitations and punish them or penalize them by fining them, depending on the company's worth, and may or may not include jail time if they refuse to pay that fine. Now, we believe that the problem in today's debate is environmental pollution, is exploitation of natural resources, is wastage of natural resources, and also exploitation of consumer. We believe that company development is not a main issue in today's argument, which from the opposition side we've been hearing, because in the end it wouldn't matter what the company's choice is, because I set up a company, I decide what I do with the company, whether I allow the money I invest to waste or not, whether I develop that company or not. But what we truly care about is what happens to the consumers that buy such products, which we've not had much from the opposition side. Ladies and gentlemen, we have told you that planned obsolescence is environmentally degradative, is exploitative in most cases. That is why we are supporting a strike towards reducing that by penalizing companies that practice it. So now, let's go further and answer my first question. Is producing newer product design to suit consumer choice enough to justify environmental degradation? Ladies and gentlemen, a rational person should be able to decide that environment is the best thing to side with here, because we don't really care much about what consumers' choice is. We think these companies shouldn't have opted in for consumers' preference at the cost of environmental degradation. We have told you that in Ghana, ladies and gentlemen, through our first speaker, that the largest electronic junk exists there, and because of circumstances, these countries lack proper waste management and recycle policies. So in essence, the people in that area are affected negatively, and it's undeniable that the companies that are responsible for production of such materials to last for a fewer time duration, so they will replace them for the consumer, are selfish enough not to make certain intervention in these countries to see what they can do. We believe that this is exploitative and it is at the cost of Mother Nature's conformation. We believe that the environment is supposed to be the best thing we should opt in for here. So because of that, we don't really think that side of their argument is really justifiable, because we have heard from their first proposition speaker that it is legitimate for companies to make products because consumers want them. Ladies and gentlemen, even if consumers want products, for example, now if consumers suddenly decide that they want Samsung that will last 3 days, and after that batteries should be discarded and new batteries should be made. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that the company should be able to make a decision and decide that those batteries would in the end affect the environment, because we've told you that these materials are non-biodegradable. So in essence, they are polluting the environment, and these companies are selfish enough to keep replacing that in order to meet consumer needs and make more money in short amount of time that they are supposed to make. Ladies and gentlemen, if we don't use excessive planned obsolescence, we believe that in the end, these products will definitely come to an end of their lifespan. But what we are saying here is, if we allow them to reach the true lifespan they are supposed to last, it will not harm the environment as much as excessive use of planned obsolescence is harming the environment. We are not denying the fact that in the end it harms the environment. What we are saying is the more you produce, the more you discard, and the more you discard, the more it accumulates, because it's non-biodegradable, and these companies are not doing much to recycle it. It damages mother nature and it pollutes the environment, and because of that, we are proud to stop such action that is environmentally degrading. Secondly, my question, is there true exploitation in planned obsolescence? Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that there is exploitation in planned obsolescence. Team proposition have been focusing on certain types of planned obsolescence and have forgotten the real exploitative types of planned obsolescence. All they talked about is style obsolescence, that if I want a new design of phone, you should produce that design. But ladies and gentlemen, we should know that there are phones that we buy these days and suddenly the battery stops retaining charge as much as it used to when we buy them. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that if, as a consumer, I am buying a product, you should tell me how exactly long this product is supposed to last before it becomes obsolete. But what we heard from them is because because the consumer wants the design, they give it to him. But that's not exactly true in all circumstances. There are circumstances where producers sell products to consumers, and consumers know that I am expecting my iPhone 6 to last for maybe 2 years before the battery stops returning charge as much as it used to when I first buy it. But then suddenly, after 6 months, it stops returning charge. Ladies and gentlemen, this is exploitation. If you want me to buy your product as a company, you should tell me exactly how long that product is supposed to last. Charge me equal amount of money that is worth that time. I am ready to pay that. In a situation whereby you don't tell me that my iPhone 6 is going to stop returning charge, for example, after 6 months, and I buy it at the regular price and only for 6 months to reach, and my iPhone 6 stops returning charge, we believe that it is exploitation. Yes, ma'am.
So you're saying that you don't know that your iPhone is going to last for 2 years, but everyone in the road, everyone is using iPhones, right? Most of the people. So the people know that it's not going to last forever. You can't buy an iPhone and expect to use it for 10 years. Right?
Thank you.
We know that it's...
Yes, we know that we don't expect iPhones to last for 10 years, but we expect iPhones to last for a particular duration of time, retaining their charge. For example, we see posts on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. We see posts on Instagram. People complaining that their iPhone suddenly stops returning charge. I'm not accusing iPhone. This is just a quotation from experience that I have seen on social media. Ladies and gentlemen, quickly moving to my last question. Is company development wasting natural resources, in essence, causing exploitation? We don't believe that company development is a major issue in this debate, because we don't really care about what company owners decide to do with their company. We care about what happens to people in the society. So because we have told you from the beginning that planned obsolescence is environmentally degrading and polluting, excessive use of planned obsolescence, is also exploitative. Ladies and gentlemen, we support a strive towards stopping such inherent harm it causes to the environment. So to conclude my speech, I would like to tell you that from the beginning we've told you through our first speaker that planned obsolescence, excessive use of it results into misuse of natural resources. It also results into environmental exploitation and pollution, where we give you an example of the third world countries and developing countries like Ghana, where there is a huge electronic jump enough to build the biggest skyscraper in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, because we support a strike towards stopping environmental pollution and Team Proposition support a strike towards consumer development, we beg you to side with us. Thank you.
Thank you for your points. Now I call upon the first speaker of the opposition to carry on the case for penalize of KDS.
Ladies and gentlemen, today this debate hasn't been going very successful because there were some major class points that should have been discussed, such as the development of technology, the question of whether planned obsolescence is legitimate, and customer satisfaction about planned obsolescence. These classes should have been happened, but today the clashes are the environmental waste and the exploitation of customers.
Okay, so so the proposition side has been repeatedly saying that plant obsolescence is affecting the environment, and it's especially polluting Ghana. However, even if we penalize corporations to stop environmental waste, you're not going to solve the situation of Ghana, right? Even if their waste comes from the major environmental waste comes from plastic waste, such as market bags, plastic bottles. It comes from styrofoam, and they're hard to recycle. The major environmental waste does not come from plant obsolescence. There are many other things that are causing environmental waste. Furthermore, on that point, no, thank you. Okay, so think about what would happen if you penalize corporations. They would be cut short in their money, right? So consequently, they wouldn't be able to produce new products. I mean, even if they would be able to produce new products, no, thank you. They wouldn't be as good as these ones. Okay, so let's think about Apple. If you penalize Apple, there would be a huge crisis happening. You would be blocking the development of technology, which wouldn't be correct. Okay, so you are saying that you want to learn that your phone is not going to last for 10 years, but you already know that, right? And also, even if you produce phones that were durable, so, we would need to use different materials, right? Such as durable materials are usually heavier and they have a higher density.
On that point,
yes.
okay, your speaker said that that consumers want more eye-appealing products. Now you're telling us that there's going to be technological development. How are we going to have technological development if your company keeps producing only eye-appealing products?
Okay, but when it's eye-appealing, they're also developing the technology as well. I mean, look at the iPhone 6. This is appealing to me, right? It's because the technology is also great as well. Okay, so continuing on my point. Okay, so we would be using high-density metals such as steel, and it will be more expensive. So in today's world, people who are buying iPhone don't want want to buy their phones because they don't want to be left out from people, and we are not going to these people's houses and forcing them to buy those phones, right? If you want a durable phone, you can go and buy a Nokia phone, right? And also, the reason why people are using iPhones is because it's very practical and easy to use. But if you use durable metals such as steel or titanium,
On that point, ma'am.
yes.
If you think that people use Apple because it is easy to use, and suddenly Apple takes advantage of that and make their products stop working because people want easy materials, they will always come back to buy easy materials. In essence, exploiting the people instead of producing iPhones that are supposed to last long.
Okay, look. The important thing in such markets, in this industry, is what customer wants, okay? Some of the customers want their phones to last for a long time. So go ahead, phone that lasts for a long time. There are phones that can last for a long time. But most of the majority of the customers want phones that are pretty, that they can show to their friends, that they are, oh look, I have an iPhone 7 red. That's very cool. They're not obsessed with the fact that they're not lasting for a long time. The customers are wanting it. Okay, so when Apple releases a new iPhone, there is long lines formed in front of Apple stores. Maybe not in our country, but especially countries like US. So people want those phones. People come to buy those phones. We are not forcing these people. People want, and you haven't been tackling that. No, thank you. Okay. And also, trends are constantly changing, right? People want to follow the fashion. It's not going to be. And also, if you want to. And he also talked about the fact that battery starts to die earlier, and in order to prevent that, people don't want to buy phones that are very expensive, right? If I'm going to buy a new phone, I would be worried about that phone. Okay, so I'm going to a shop, right? And I'm going to buy a phone that lasts for 10 years. But after a specific period of time, I'm going to be bored of this phone. I mean,
The trends are constantly changing. People are buying new phones. I also want to be like them. I don't want to know, yes.
Okay, you said that phones with batteries are produced so that batteries explode in a short period of time. But don't you think that it's too excessive, okay, replicate, okay, the frequent changes in design of the batteries that lead to this accident and can cause damage in the environment?
I would say so. Yes, okay. Even if it damages, as I said before, even if it damages the environment, that's not the point. I mean, the environmental wave is not coming from iPhone. It's coming from many other things. There are many other things that are hard to be recycled. As I said before, no thank you. Such as plastic. That's not the major point. People want these things. We are talking about the development of technology. Okay, if we penalize these corporations, they would be cut short of money, right? So they wouldn't have the money to improve and do research to improve their technology. So we would be in the same place that we are right now. But we don't want that. We want it to improve. We are not. That's what everyone wants. That's what the majority of customers want. We are not forcing people to buy those. And okay, even if you penalize those because of environment, people are going to reject that. I mean, there are many people who are using iPhones because it's nice, it's beautiful, the design is appealing, and it has a great camera. No, thank you. We can't just penalize these corporations because of nature. I mean, we keep saying environment, but that's not the case. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'll give you a minute to go through the reply speeches before we start the reply speaker. Okay, that's a minute. Now I invite the reply speaker from opposition to conclude the case for her side of the House. Here. And for reply speaker, I'll just give you a bell when you have 30 seconds left.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today the proposition side created a pink world where gonna be having no problem environmental if we would penalize corporations for the use of excessive plant obsolescence. That is not the case, and that's not realistic at all. Most of the environmental problems and the causes of pollution are coming from materials that are hard to recycle and that cannot be recycled, not from products that are being produced because of plant obsolescence. It's not realistic at all, the world they create. And besides, they were only thinking about the environment and not the customers nor the companies, since plant obsolescence is a business strategy, we have to consider both of those sides because they are the sides that are the most important sides in this debate, and they fail to accept that customers are not going to be getting what they want if the excessive use of plant obsolescence is penalized, and companies are not going to be able to dispose of maximizing their profits, not as effectively at least. And also, they also fail to accept the fact that environmental pollution will always exist. They talk on and on about how plant obsolescence is harming the environment, but obviously production, like it's going to happen. It's going to happen like even if we don't penalize the corporations for the use of plant obsolescence. Now, moving on to the work that my team created, we thought about the sides that are most important in this debate, which are the customers and the companies, because the customers need to get what they want and need from a product. And what they want and need right now is a better design, not a durable product that's going to last them for 10 years, as we proved in our arguments. And we also proved that it's illegitimate since benefits are so much more than harms. And also, both companies and since both companies and customers will be benefited, there is no need to penalize them. Everyone is going to be happy and content with what they've done. Also, penalizing companies will only harm the economy and nothing else. And that's thank you.
Thank you for your fine speech. Now I'd like to call upon the reply speaker on the proposition side to come through the case for her side of the House and then the debate as a whole. Here.
In today's debate, same proposition came with the first argument, which is legitimacy. And we told you why we want to penalize them. Not because they are making products. The reason why we're penalizing them is because the way they are making products fail is excessive. And we told you that it is detrimental to the society, it's detrimental to our environment, and also to the consumer, who is not aware of the programming of such systems, which the technological companies, which the corporations have made to fail, actually. And now they told us that nothing lasts forever. Yes, we know that nothing lasts forever. But I don't want a situation whereby I don't get the value of what I bought, which they haven't even addressed in this debate. Then secondly, they told us how companies have helped us. They said they've given us technology, they started from the bottom and they're here, and now they've given us maximum profit. And they said that it's also good for consumers. And they kept on telling us what will happen if we penalize them. Now let me tell you what will happen if we penalize them. If we penalize them, and let's say take like 10% of their net worth, and we'll tell you this is what's going to happen. Immediately after penalizing them, they will go back to such countries which they have polluted. They will go back and start recycling products, because currently there is very little they are doing concerning recycling and a lot that they are doing concerning dumping. So penalizing them will make them do the right thing. Now the fact that a child does wrong doesn't mean that we kill the child, we correct the child. That is what team proposition is doing today. What corporations are doing with the excessive use of planned obsolescence is wrong. And what we're doing is we're correcting them. We are not discouraging technological development. We are encouraging technological development, but we don't want them to keep exploiting people and our environment. So now, they also talked about consumers, that they should make eye-appealing products. And I told them that in a situation whereby you keep making eye-appealing products, you no longer look at quality anymore. You just look at the facial product. And within the phone, it's very bad. It's just like having an apple. The apple looks fine on the outside, but in the inside, it's actually rotten. That is what team proposition's case is. And that is not technological development. That is fancy development, and we don't want such a thing. Then they also told us that consumers actually go to buy these things. What we've told you is that the consumers are not actually aware that these things are made to be so. Because you buy a phone, you don't really know the components of the phone. And besides, Apple, that they kept on mentioning, uses tamper-proof screws to lock their phones so that you don't even open the phones in any way. So now what we're trying to say is that they program the phones in such a way that even you don't get to know that they're actually exploiting you, but this is what they're doing. We know, and we are opening your eyes today to see how bad this is. Okay, so we've told you how this is bad, even to you, the consumer, because you don't know actually what you're buying, and they just keep telling us that we want to buy fancy things. We don't want to buy fancy things. We want to buy good things. We don't support fancy technology. We support real technological advances. Now let me tell you what we on my team has said on this debate. We've told you about the misuse of natural resources, and they said that it's the company's policy. Yes, it's the company's policy. That is the exact same reason why we want to penalize these companies for doing such wrong things. Just talk about we talked about environmental pollution. Most of these things that they used to make phones are non-biodegradable. So that means they don't decompose. They keep harming the environment, and we don't want such a thing. We want to protect our earth. because this is the only earth we have. If they keep saying that we should keep producing such products, such fancy products that are not actually good, then what they're trying to tell us is that we should not protect the earth. We should keep using what we want to use anyhow we feel like. Companies should keep producing what they want to produce because they are making money. We feel this is wrong and this is not good, because if they keep on making such products that are not meant to last, there will not be an earth, there will not be humans to sell such products to anyways. Now, we told you why consumers need to know the real expiry dates. They told us about a law in France that is against excessive use of plant obsolescence, and we've also told you how this is good. So on our side of the debate, we told you how everybody wins, how society wins, how environment wins, how companies even win, and how even you win. Thank you.
Thank you for an interesting debate. I'll ask debaters to cross the floor and please and then shake hands, and then please vacate the rooms for the deliberation. It will take approximately 10 to 15 minutes, so be outside and we'll call you in when we're done, okay?
Yarın ciddiye almalısın bunlar.